have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Boom! And I hope that actually you can't even hear my voice. You can hear. Are you fucking kidding me right now, Fitch?
What's happening?
I don't think. All right, maybe my voice is here. All right, it is working. Jesus Christ.
I hear you loud and clear.
Bro, I can't wait to fucking move.
Internet giving me issues.
It's not internet. It's my power supply here. That like, all right, so I swapped my computers out, right? I had Baby and Beefy, and Beefy wasn't running so great, and there were just all these weird fucking issues that I couldn't fix. So I've brought Baby up here. She's been all right for a couple weeks. Souped her up a little bit. But bro, like I've got two APCs here. I've got to unplug it. I got dirty power everywhere. I got flashing lights everywhere. I've had to take bulbs out. I have outlets that don't work. I have one light outside that has not turned off in the 3 years I've been living here. I repeat that, everybody. In the 3 years I've been living here, there's a light out. And it all started when I first had a remote for my garage, right? And it wasn't working. And then one of my fridge shorted out and didn't work for 36 hours. And then it did work.
Sounds like somebody did all of their own electrical work.
Listen, man, we're on the verge of World War III. I just found another place. I don't even want to get into all of it, but now I have to overlap for a month. I'm jealous of that smoke stone. I actually just ordered 2 smoke stones because I missed mine. Ordered them like 2 days ago. Can't wait to get them, everybody. If you've been watching the channel, you know
I hand make mine.
Oh, you hand majors?
Yeah.
What, you got a Dremel?
Yeah, I got a Dremel. That won't focus, but it's a toe.
Oh. How many times you fucking broken one of your toes, bro? How many? Seriously?
Maybe I don't know, because they're toes and I never like got them checked out. So
you're a scary individual.
Maybe twice. I've heard some toes pretty bad a couple times. I've hurt for like a month, but like you just buddy tape it and go. It's a toe, man. Cut the thing off.
We're not all fucking MMA legends and heads of the. In fact,
hey, man, we only get paid if we make it to the fight.
Yeah. So speaking of fights, before we get into World War III, USADA, all that good stuff, I should get the link here so you guys can buy the pay-per-view through me. In fact, we're going to try to bring that up in a minute. But this is happening this weekend. It's the real deal. I've never been as sick. God damn it. Why? Well, dude, I'm getting so upset right now. It's not going to my... Dude, this is what I mean. I had this thing set up. There's no reason for that not to be working right, and it's not working right. Anyway, Bad Blood, Militich versus Jackson. It's actually happening. I'm actually, you know who I'm calling the fights with, bitch?
The 14th, okay.
Yeah.
This weekend. All right.
Yeah. I'm worried sick. I'm not gonna lie to everybody. This is the first time I've had an actual friend in the cage. It's a special circumstance.
Different experience watching somebody you know fight.
Well, the thing is, like, let's say
you're going to be in a weird situation announcing. Also, it's one thing to be coaching and being helpless and not being able to actually physically do anything in the fight, but yeah, calling it and not getting too carried away or being too one-sided, especially when one of the guys is such a turd.
And the other guy's like my
gotta
good
be hard
friend.
enough as
And
it
it's
is.
it's not even like, all right, let's say, first of all, watching you fight would have been a lot different because number one, it would have been like still not only kind of in your prime, but for like $1 million purse almost. Remember, that was the whole deal. Like at Madison Square Garden where you were on call. You know, and no offense, Fitch, I love you to death. We've been doing this for years, but we've never actually sat down and really hung out. Milicic comes over for fights. He's been coming over talking about fighting this guy for the last 2 fucking years, almost every weekend. And I personally was like, come on, Pat. I mean, because he is a 57-year-old man. That's the other thing. You fighting, okay. This is a big deal. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I got to tell you, I should be fucking pumped, John. And the thing is, it's not until the very last fight of 2 nights of fights. So, and I'm calling him with Penn. I'm calling him with BJ Penn. That's pretty unreal, too. Pretty surreal that would also happen. So everything feels a little weird. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't know what to say, man. Like, I'm obviously going to be there. I'm getting through it. Even today when the weigh-ins, because he hasn't weighed in yet. He weighs in tomorrow. Like, there's this ex-Bellator guy going against another guy that I actually know and I like. And I could see it for the first. This guy's a mild-mannered dude. Fucking hated the guy. I could tell he wanted to rip his fucking head off. Just a weird experience. You've been around a lot of fight animosity. What are some of the more bizarre behind-the-scenes experiences that you've seen?
I don't know. Like, man, I never got into it's a different era. I think I don't think there was as much beef. I can't remember anything. I heard stories about the old shoebox guys in Japan, but that was a little bit earlier of an era. But other than Diaz and what's his name fighting in the hospital, that's probably one of the peak like crazy things.
Peak madness right there.
Yeah, guys beating each other up for 15 minutes and then having to go to the hospital and then getting fight in the emergency room.
And that's Joe Riggs, right?
Joe Riggs, that's right. Riggs and Diaz. That's just
the thing is that there's actual bad blood here. So like this isn't a show. I'm promising everybody like this is as real as it gets. For those that don't know, Mike Jackson hadn't had a lot of fights. Basically a photographer. They brought him into the UFC to lose to CM Punk. They figured, hey, this is like somebody that could be competitive and maybe we can get CM Punk another fight, etc. But they let Milicic train him. And, Milicic trained the guy and he ended up edging out Punk, you know what I mean, and staying in the UFC for some time. Now, through the Black Lives Matter and the COVID stuff, they had a falling out online, and then it gets real personal when Pat goes to January 6th again. And this is another thing that's just, I'm the guy that got him there. Like, I'm the guy that was like, listen, I'm going. We had stakes afterwards. We didn't go together. We went separately. But, like, I was encouraging him to go. And he went with another ex-fighter, his Nick Spawn. And he took a picture with Joe Biggs and all these guys that are doing prison time now. But Jackson writes this article and gets him basically fired from the LFA because it goes to ESPN and Yahoo and it makes Pat out to be a white supremacist. Guys, I'll tell you right now, Pat Milicic is not a white supremacist. We don't sit there and talk about race and the white race or like there's just not something. It's so bizarre.
How much of that do you think? Because UFC never really liked Pat.
Yeah, I know.
He had plenty of issues with them. You wonder if they had any meddling?
I mean, it's tough to say too because like
he wrote the article for ESPN. What credentials did he have to get on a platform that big and push a story like that?
I will say this.
Are they mad at him and they're because they wanted to they don't like him already, and then he trained a guy that beat their guy they wanted to use to sell a lot of tickets, and he beats them, so they're like, we're gonna get this guy.
I don't know if it was that. I will say that LFA is probably the largest feeder organization right now directly for the UFC and the Contender Series. And I will also say that the night that Pat did not broadcast after the first article, the person that did get to broadcast was Alan Joban, who was quickly fast-tracked to ESPN as a regular after that. So I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, John, but I would say there might be some merit to what you just said.
I mean, look, man, the amount that these smaller companies work in servitude for the UFC is stomach turning. These people are supposed to be competitors. They're supposed to be competing to get the best talent available. They're not. They're working for the UFC as a funneling system. They've put themselves in a position to get fighters saying, hey, we'll help you get to the UFC faster. They're not competing. They're working for them. It's gross. It's so who knows what kind of strings they're able to pull for, the UFC, what they're able to do, what kind of power they have, and they can swing things. And how much say do they have in which guys they push in those smaller promotions? Oh, we don't really like this guy. Don't give him the big fights. Don't push him. Don't spend the money on promoting him. Do this guy. How much is that is happening? Like, I don't think people, we need to have a serious conversation about the fact that this is not a sport. It is long since turned into something else. It does not operate as a sport at all. I'm not saying the fights are fake, but I'm not saying they're not untainted.
Well, that's the other thing
I don't think it's unreasonable to think that they've talked to the judges, that they've talked to the referees. I don't think that that's unreasonable. We know for a fact that multiple times they have helped fighters cheat on their drug tests in order to get the fights to happen anyways. And that's just a handful of the ones we know.
Not just cheated, but knew they failed and just held the fight anyway after the fact and just didn't release the results, John.
Yes. How many other times has that happened where people didn't find out about it? And now they're just straight up dumping USADA.
All right, so let's talk about that. USADA, for those that don't know, was originally there, and basically they went into the pool, and it was third party, and they're saying, hey, look, USADA is testing fighters, we're clean. You know what I mean? Then they said that they were so clean that they basically absorbed USADA through this Uber partnership. And who was that head of USADA that was basically on the UFC payroll after that? You know who I'm talking about, right? Skinny dude, bald.
Yeah, the tall, bald, skinny guy. I can't remember.
Yeah. So basically, he was going around being their PR guy as the head of the organization. But now that partnership has ended. There's another third party that's being brought in directly for the UFC, and it all seems to do with the McGregor situation, Fitch. Talk about that.
Yeah, so USADA was trying to actually do their job and trying to make McGregor go into the testing pool. The UFC didn't want that. Now, this doesn't make me think that USADA's, always doing the up and up thing and always doing things by the book. They just it's probably a glaring a glaring rule break to allow him, that tears away the whole illusion of them being a serious organization. If they just, we're just going to pass and let Connor get in without being in the testing pool for this many months. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, it's just dirty business.
I mean, again, if you're going to promote a violent serial rapist, you're pretty much going to do whatever
it takes to make money. That's all that matters. Did we make money? Did we get paid?
and that's the reality of the situation, everybody. And we got to stop pretending otherwise. You know, all these people that think that, you know, any power structure where there's that much money at play. I mean, for instance, like, did you just see that, like, Jess Staley, the one banker in the Epstein thing, he got, like, mini burned, and he had to pay $1.8 million, and then he lost another $17 million in bonuses that he's not going to get now. It's like, is he going to jail? No.
His reputation ruined.
Yeah, I'm sure he's doing all right. I mean, he missed out on his $17 million bonus this year. I'm pretty sure he's probably got a little cheese or maybe some assets worth something. I mean, when I hear absurd...
Like that vacation to Hawaii is out this year. Poor guy.
Out. Oh, I mean, Hawaii, we're not even going to be talking about it anymore, everybody. Just so you know. All those kids they killed, it's over. Like, it's over now. Like... Ukraine's on the back burner. You'll never hear about Hawaii again, except for like
Biden crime family. It's put away.
So
we're not even talking about what's going on in the Speaker of the House thing.
They found it. Well, they nominated Scalise, so he's the guy that got shot.
I know. I met with Scalise. He co-sponsored. He sponsored the bill, HR 44, the Ali Act.
Okay. So then, you know, not bad for you. Like, that's a good thing. He does have blood cancer right now, which is concerning.
He had lead in the blood, maybe too.
I mean, that guy's taken a lot. And look,
like that disappeared. No one talks about that. Like, no one even brings that up. Like a leftist Bernie Sanders supporter went to a Republican baseball field and shot it up. Didn't the police officer die?
He might have. I think four people were
female,
shot.
I thought.
Yeah, I think he was killed in the shootout with the guy because they killed the guy too, right?
And that's disappeared. Like, how does the right? They're such pussies. How do they not even use that as like an attack piece? The violent left. How is that not messaging? How do you not have a series of the mass shooters, the trans shooters, all that stuff? And use that as your messaging. Is this what you want?
Dude.
You want the violent left? You want the violent left? I'm not even right wing. I'm just saying, like, you are failing miserably to not take such an obvious tool and weapon and use it.
But it's just like you said, man, the news cycle. It's all about Israel and Palestine. And it's like, if you're on the right now, like, dude,
I'm enjoying the shit show because there are the separate factions are being split and mixed up again because you've got leftist politicians and government bodies, and they support Israel. But then you have the leftist activists and actors in Hollywood, and they support Palestine. So they're having a riff on that side, and they're like starting to fight. But you also have the pro-war neocons who are pro-Israel on the right, but then you have the guys on the right who are like, screw war, screw you, I got shit in my backyard I want something done about. And they're fighting.
Here's the deal. I think it's shown a lot of people that are supposedly alternative media that they are vehemently okay with killing people they don't like. Okay, like first of all, they're not really even a lot of the ones that were like questioning Ukraine and like, and it's a sliding scale, right? Like you had, I'll put it this way, you had a lot of mainline conservatives questioning things like the World Economic Forum. We're on fucking YouTube, John, by the way, so like watch out. All right, so World Economic Forum stuff, Great Reset stuff, that was a lot, right? Then Ukraine kicks off. Now, a certain percentage of those still got behind Ukraine and said, well, we still need to arm Ukraine. Fuck Russia, blah, 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 blah. Now, with this next one, it's gone down yet another notch because they don't want war, right? And basically this, which is I think is about half, the Daily Wires of the world, they're all, the PragerU's, they're all just like, fuck Palestine. And I'm going to say it like this. This is how I said it. I know you're in a bigger area than I am. First of all, I don't think this happens without somebody on the inside in Israel allowing it to happen, one.
Exactly.
And number two, I don't think it happens with Palestinians being trained just in Palestine, because how are they paratroopers? And really, how do you get it done on the inside to let them know that it's going to be a stand down on the outside without an inside man? Okay. And obviously, I don't trust Israeli intelligence. So that's one. Then you look at the failure of the Iron Dome, and they say, well, they were just barraged with too much. Okay. Then you're telling me as that happens, no one shoots any of the paratroopers out of the sky, and the IDF doesn't get there, and the sirens don't go off. Okay, so let's start there. So, number one, you need the people in Hamas that are really willing to do this, so they're in desperate situations, right? You need those soldiers, but then you need the head guys on the inside coordinated, and then you need the stand down. The response, look, I don't like seeing fucking dead rave kids. I don't like seeing dead people, but fucking I'm horrified by what happened. They just shut the fucking power off on 2 million people. I live in the biggest place I've ever lived in my life. The Quad Cities, John. It's 400,000 people. That means a region 5 times the size of where I live, which I think is massive, with children everywhere, has no power, has no fuel, has no communications.
No running water. They can't shit in the toilet.
And they're being carpet bombed. And holy fuck. Like, what do people think is going to happen? And if you question it online, guess what? In Europe, it's basically illegal. So the Zuckerberg and Musk are warned over Hamas-affiliated content. EU blasts tech giants after proliferation of fake claims being spread on X after terrorist violent rampage in Israel, and told to remove it. Like governments there are telling them to remove it.
It's the big problem. It's the biggest problem, because anybody with half a brain knows that the government's been lying to us for a very long time. The news media has been lying to us for a very long time, and they have increased the lies. They've doubled down. In recent history, we had Russian collusion bullcrap shoved down our throats. Big fakeness. Then COVID.
Whoa. What do you mean? Listen, they love us, John. YouTube, I just want to let you right now.
Be healthy and
listen, I think the World Health Organization is the best organization. I think the United Nations is onto something when they say trans lesbians are lesbians. Have you seen that yet, John?
When men can give birth, totally.
Just because you can't make this shit up, everybody. And actually, did you see the Ryan Long bit yet on the Palestine-Israeli situation? It's a must-watch.
I think I did. I can't remember it.
It ends with the trans lesbians, and I really appreciated that, because I actually had the trans lesbians at the end.
It's such a bizarre landscape. Like, I'm just sitting back watching the world burn and eating my popcorn, because you've got some of the people on the far left are like they're pro-Palestine, but then Palestine is like not into the rainbow flag.
It's all listen, here's the next thing.
I really don't get some of the associations, and it's all a mess.
I think on the first level, people have to own up to the fact that on some level, all of us as human beings are not only going to be wrong, right? But we're also going to be hypocrites. But when you're such a fucking outward hypocrite, like you just said, like it sucks, bro. I had Dinesh D'Souza. You know D'Souza on my show. So I had D'Souza on the other show, and he's promoting his new movie Police State, right? And he sits there and admits that he helped bring all this about against the terrorists in 9/11 because it's supposed to go against them, right? So then go to break, come back, and I say, Dinesh, and by the way, that aired tonight, everybody, so everybody can go check it out if they'd like to go see it.
Watch it.
I go, don't you think that really a lot of this is post-World War II, we used compartmentalization. We started born classified. We had more and more black sites. We empowered the intelligence agencies. And gradually, they became less and less accountable. Now, I could have given examples such as the Kennedy assassinations and Martin Luther King and Iran-Contra. I didn't have the time. I have
Ruby
30 minutes.
Ridge.
I just couldn't even get that far. I understand that it absolutely skyrocketed and escalated after 9/11, but the structure was there. You know what his response was? Obama. Obama was the response, man. I really think it was Obama, and it was after the Bush administration.
It's a joint effort, dumbasses. It's the left and the right politicians working together for the corporations and the bankers. Quit being so stupid. It's not left or right. It's us versus them. Like the Republicans and the Democrats all want more militarization in our streets because they know they can't keep printing money forever. At some point in time, the buck stops, period. And when that happens, it's going to be chaos. And I don't know if it's going to be 5 years or 50 years, but you cannot keep printing money the way we have. It's not possible. So they're getting ready. I think they also get a lot of kickbacks from their buddies in those companies that make those machines and those things that make the police more militarized. They're profiting off of it in the process of doing it.
Brother, did you see what the fucking war stocks look like right now, bro? Have you not looked? Holy fuck. As of Monday, I mean, I've been covering it all week. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing. Look, everyone, Northrop Grumman. I mean, you know what I say? So I did my show on, I think it was at the other show. I think it was on Tuesday because Mark Schaffline was on. He's an economic guy, big conservative guy. I actually really like Mark because he's a realist. And so I told him in the pre-show what we were going to be talking about and how the stocks were skyrocketing. And I mentioned Lockheed Martin as one of them. And fucking my buddy, he does all the tech, Drake, the producer, right? He comes back after we're done, an hour-long show. He's like, I checked the stock of Lockheed Martin before he stopped. He's like, it went up $10 in just the hour you were on. I'm like, yeah, and it's not going. He goes, which ones are you investing in? I'm like, none. I couldn't live with myself. But people are making a lot of money right now, John. Those fucking stocks are shooting up, bro. Mm-hmm. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? Is that getting bad? Oh, am I about? Don't make that correlation.
It might. We new terms going to drop soon.
Guaranteed.
Can't say anything negative about the regime or our military. It's hate speech.
Oh man, Fitch, we're such a weird place. We're
It's wild.
We're now less than 13 months away from the election. Everybody, we really don't have anybody that. I mean, Joe Biden can't speak. Like a lot of people showed those little segments of him talking about the Israeli thing. I played the full 10 minutes. It's bad, John. It's bad. What are you freezing up over there? That could be on my end. It's for some reason.
It froze for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. They're listening to us.
I hope it's not that. I don't want to be paranoid enough to think that fucking I can't do a computer now and put it online with my stuff without getting some kind of weird virus that's going to slow everything down. It's like, if that's what's going on, fuck you guys.
I have a feeling we're going to start. It's going to get to that school marm level where if we go online, there's going to be little bubbles that pop up. Oh, warning, this content is whatever been deemed untruthful or whatever the fuck. Like,
it's already kind of there. I mean, my YouTube, everything I do on YouTube gets a context box. Like, the New World Order isn't real.
But instead of being an individual company like YouTube doing it, it'll just be across the board government mandated. Like, you sure you really want to say that? Because like even on Twitter, like you cuss somebody out, like, are you sure? Using words like that could hurt feelings.
People don't usually use terms like that in a civil discussion. I get that.
Are you sure you want to use the term dick face?
I used to love the term dick face, cockmaster, dick face. What's wrong? Anybody can be a cockmaster.
I use Grammarly. right? Because I'm not such a good speller, and it helps. But now, like, you can highlight what you wrote, and it'll give you an AI fix for it, right? Well, I'd say about 3 times out of 10, it won't give me a response because it was too negative or something that I wrote, or it went against something about the government or whatever, and it just wouldn't register. And then I was writing something.
Oh, we lost him again. Hopefully we'll get him back. I'm not sure if, I guess if I'm streaming with you guys, it can't be on my end. Maybe it's on Fitch's end. I don't think it's Fitch's fault. God damn it, Fitch. We were in the middle of an awesome conversation today. But no.
3rd grade teacher stuff.
I lost you for like the last, I don't know, minute, and now you're still frozen.
I'm frozen.
Yeah, your face is frozen over here. Dude, I don't know what's going on. I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can see you.
There you go. There you go. You're back.
Right,
we missed all that. So go ahead. Retell the story. I'm sorry, bro.
No, it's just that I'll write something in the AI and it just won't register if it's too negative or it's against the government or anything like that. Sometimes it'll even try to rewrite it in a more positive thing. I wrote something like, you're on your own. No one's going to be there for you. You got to suck it up and do it yourself. And it'll rewrite it as like, even though it seems like there's no one there for you, people genuinely care and you can't give up. And I'm just like, what is this?
That's not what you wrote.
That's not it's not even the same context of what I wrote. I'm just like, what is this nanny crap? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to write that? That could be, some people might consider that mean. It's like, I don't need that. I was like, I know people thought it would mean. That's why I wrote it. I want to be mean.
That's what I'm saying, man. We're like, language has been attacked. Our society has been attacked.
Tough love isn't allowed. You just have to accept and tolerate everything. You're not allowed to have a boundary and say no anymore. It's ridiculous.
It's the craziest thing ever. It's like, how do you structure a society around utter fantasy constantly, unless you're trying to destroy it, which I think they are. Like, that's the whole thing. I think that, like, they're at blurring the line between reality and the complete and total inverse of reality. And look, man, it's like with this Israeli thing, all these evangelicals that want to bring in fucking Armageddon, and that's the spot. And the other thing is that the big global wars usually do kick off when there are superpowers fighting already, and then all of a sudden something happens in the Middle East. Every time. 1 and 2. And Israel didn't exist until after 2. And then the Bible has that whole, rebuild Solomon's temple, Jewish Messiah, Antichrist, Revelations, return.
I'm hearing the that's conspiracy theory they're talking about is the Jewish revenge on Rome. Like, it's like, man, you guys come to some elaborate.
I'm just talking about the evangelicals that actually all do believe that. It's not a conspiracy theory. Like, that's the thing. Like, think how weird that is. I've been bringing it up a lot because I think it is weird. Like, on one level, you got a group of people that dress a certain way and worship a certain way. And I would say that would be the Hasidic Jews that believe there has never been a Messiah, and that their book, which is the Old Testament, which is their Torah, believe that they are going to retake the Dome of the Rock, which actually exists, and they're going to rebuild Solomon's temple, which they believe actually existed, and their Messiah will reside there. So they fully intend on taking over that whole region and rebuilding. I mean, that's their literal religion. And then, just so you know, most of you Christians out there believe in that, but that it's not really a Messiah, and he ends up being a really bad guy, the Antichrist, which sets off all sorts of even worse shit. But there will be there'll be a time of peace. Don't worry. If the Jewish Messiah comes into play, or the Antichrist, there is like a short period where everybody's like, they fixed it. And then it's revealed he's the Antichrist, Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call it. And then shit really, I mean, The battle for Earth. Who, like, I guess cool if it's a video game, John, but can you imagine how hellacious it would be to live through that time period? If it
I mean,
ever.
well, it's a very motivational story because you can break it out anytime there's a tragedy, anytime things get hard. It's like, oh, guys, this is the beginning of the end of times. Have
Yes.
faith. Like the better times are coming, you know, or the rapture is coming, and you know you have to get right with God before it happens. Like, look, this is the signs. The signs are all around us.
But the other thing
Get
is,
in line, follow orders.
you got the people, and I'm not trying to diss religion or prophecy, but you also have those that would play on prophecy to bring it into fruition because you
Well,
literally.
I think there's a huge difference between religion and the religious books and the church.
I agree there too. But at the same
we
time,
have California Christianity out here. It's not a Christianity.
Well,
or
that's my
Catholicism that I grew
point.
up with. It's not even close. Not even anywhere close.
But John, like,
They changed it.
think about the
They
Christian.
changed it, and I don't remember any angels coming down and being like, "Hey, this is the new way." But they changed it. It's different. The churches that you go to now are not the same as 30, 40 years ago.
Well,
That's a big what the hell happened there to me. I didn't see an angel. I missed something.
I think that there's that. I think there's, listen, I think more people are you just totally detached from traditional religion or even really spirituality, right? There's a lot of narcissism in there. There's a lot of people that have bought into the science. They really do believe like Darwin and evolution and the whole nine, right? I think that there's a lot of that. I mean, there's been indoctrination through the school system. I don't necessarily dismiss some of that. I'm just humble enough to say I don't know, right? But what I am going to say is, all right, you talk about how all those people have fallen out. Look at the political organizations that still pump money into all this, right? Like the Christian Zionists out there that literally are like hoping for this to happen. They go and visit Israel. They're like, one day, one day. I was just watching video because, you know, the Hasidic Jews, some of them really don't like the Christians coming out there, spitting on Christians. If you watched, remember, did you ever watch Where in the World is Osama bin Laden?
No, I didn't see it.
So for those that don't know, it's the Super Size Me guy, right? And he goes to Israel and literally, like a ton of Hasidic Jews just roll right up to him and just shove him and punch him in the chest, like kids spit at him, the whole nine, man. Like they're like, fuck you, man, get out of here. Like they didn't like his camera, the whole nine. One Hasidic Jew comes over and talks to him, but like they're hardcore people. That's the other thing. When you radicalize on every side, whether it be the Muslim side, the Jewish side, the Christian side, I think you get some really weird, aggressive shit that we can't imagine. And then I'll just say, top it all off with the weird occult shit, like with a lot of these powerful people. And just, I don't know, man. It's like you couldn't make a graphic novel weirder, right?
Some weirdos out there.
Dude, I was watching the NASA channel, right? And they start doing a documentary on Jack Parsons' partner, Frank Molina. And Frank Molina has largely been erased from history because they basically burned him at the end and said that he was a communist, as they did a lot of their political enemies. By the way, history is repeating themselves, everybody. Now it's your anti-democracy and pro-Putin. It's the same exact playbook. But they openly talked about how weird Parsons was and how he fucking was a huge occultist and he would do all these dark, weird rituals and have people into it. It's like, this is the science guy. This is the rocket guy. And he's doing weird fucking rituals with everybody. And then you've seen the CERN ritual, right?
Which one?
The CERN ritual?
Yeah, like they're all doing. That's a weird dance. But somebody was saying that was just some.
Not that
like,
one. Not the one
presentation.
at the tunnel. So that's not CERN. So they have where here it is right here. Here's the pictures of it anyway. I know what you're talking about, but no, like, so they have a large Shiva outside of CERN, right? And this is the Large Hadron Collider there. But like they say it's a hoax. CERN ritual hoax. Here it is right here. Is a found footage video that supposedly depicts an occult ritual and occurring in the grounds of CERN, a European particle. The video shows what's the how is it fake? Let's see. The video became popular August 2016, buoyed and many existing conspiracy theories concerning CERN. CERN later stated in its FAQ that the video was fiction and the actions violated its professional guidelines. So what does that even mean? Like, it happened, but it's like, I mean, they're there outside of the Shiva thing at CERN. It leaked out in 2016. They just said it was fiction. Like, it's a, let's just go to the video. I'm sure now that I've seen it there, we can find it. Let's see. CERN vision. Really? See, this is why Google sucks. Here it is. Mock human sacrifice at CERN. So it's like this is the Guardian. Man, I have a gig up and a gig down, and my internet's acting weird. Awful. I just can't win today. But yeah, no, there's like a bunch of weird occult things going on in this weird video. And apparently, you know, you can see the little robes and all that other good stuff. But I can't hit anything. Guys, I'm so sorry that my fucking computer sucks. There it is. Here we go. No. There we go. Like, what? A gig up and a gig down. A gig up and a gig down, guys. Bitch, I'm gonna get so angry.
So,
what
are the chances that some nutty professors?
I don't know it. See, I don't know what to think of it.
Got real baked one night, and we're like, dude, you know, it'd be funny if we took those cloaks and went outside and.
I want to believe it, John. But
then... You know, and then CERN's got to like put out a fake, like, oh, this was totally made up and fake.
I don't know, man. Like I said, they're not. It's not like they showed like the gag reel, right? All we know is that footage exists, and it's been around for like 7 years. And you would think outside of the Large Hadron Collider, there would be some kind of, I don't know, security that wouldn't allow something like that to be pranked unless it was somebody on the inside. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I got for it. We got a fight night this weekend. Do we also have BKFC on top of everything?
I can't remember if we had a BKFC. It's the
Danis thing
13th?
is on.
I can't remember if there's a Friday the 13th one. It might be not till the 20.
I think you're right because they don't want to compete with Danis on the 14th. Like, so you know, Danis and Logan Paul are fighting.
Man, the 290 was it 294? That's falling apart and then reshaped.
Yeah,
interestingly,
kinda. What is that? Usman and Makhachev now?
Makhachev and Volkanovski rematch, and then Usman is moving up to 85 to fight Chimaev.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. Crazy.
That's interesting also.
I mean, I don't mind that, I guess.
I mean, like, I don't mind them, but at the same time, like, I hate the last minute switchamaroos and stuff like that because we're not getting the best fight. We're not getting the best matchup. We're getting two names, but like, did that guy have time to prepare for this fighter? Like, we're as a consumer, we're being robbed of a better thing. Maybe it turns out good, but like, chances are, I think you're more likely to have a better fight with two guys who have prepared for 2 months, you know, specifically for each other, rather than just, oh, he 10 days notice, he can make weight, let's let him fight.
Gotcha. I mean, it's tough because there's been some last minute classics. Daniel Cormier, Anderson Silva, that was a fun one. Like you know, there's been some last minute classics like out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's true, but these are like big player. These are, I don't know.
Those were pretty big players back in the day too.
True.
I'm trying to think like because I'm thinking in my head when there have been last minute replaces, how did the fights actually turn out? Every once in a while, they're actually pretty classy. Sometimes they're horrible. Like who was it supposed to fight? Someone was supposed to fight Daniel Cormier, and they backed out. And the guy who they were trying to pump, who wrestled him and said he cried in the wrestle room, came in to fight him, and he just mopped him. He fucking Cormier just slaughtered him. I couldn't remember that. Man, I can't remember that poor guy. He got killed. He did like an even like maybe like a 5-5 run in the UFC. He was a tough enough guy. I doubt he was ever at AKA or anything like that, but I forget. Man, who am I thinking of? I'm gonna have to look it up on my internet. So shit that I can't guarantee I'll have it. Here we go. Wikipedia. This is what you're good for. We do it live, everybody.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
That's right. All right. So let's see. Patrick Cummins right there. And I forget who he was supposed to fight. That was a shitty last minute replacement. But yeah, I feel you. I get it. I want to see the rematch though with Volkanovski, man. I think he won the first fight, right?
You thought Volkanovski did?
I thought 3-2, didn't you?
No, I don't know, man. Maybe I need to rewatch it. I didn't think it was even that close. I don't know. I thought I stopped paying attention because I thought he was dominating so much.
I thought it was 2-2 going into the fifth. I thought it was 2-2 going in the fifth.
I don't know.
I mean,
we'll see though. But this is one of those things. If it was that close and they are that evenly matched, then, man, Volkanovski doesn't have as much training in. He's not as prepared.
I don't know, man. I forget when the last time he fought. Who was it? He just beat the shit out of somebody badly. And then he got challenged out on the outside, and he's like, "Believe me, you don't want it, brother." He's like, it was awesome. You think you want it, you don't want it. It was fucking amazing. I think he fought. I'm not sure if it was a decision, but he mopped the last guy. Let's see. Now it's been too long for mixed martial mindset. I've got to. Let's see. Before Makhachev, yeah, Yair Rodriguez. He pummeled Yair Rodriguez at 290. KO'd him in round 3, and then I forget who he went outside and talked shit to, but it was amazing. The post fight, like, you think you want it, brother? You don't want. I like Volk, man. He's got a good attitude. He used to be 260 pounds. Shit, dude. I was at the weigh-ins today, doing the interviews, and the headliner on the first night's a heavyweight fight, and the guy standing next to me weighed in 265, Jacob Hevlin, fighting Ryan Delph. And we were talking. I'm like, so they telling you got to get down to 205 yet? He's a thicker guy, but probably could get down to 205. And he's like, oh, no. I can't get down to 205. I'm like, I don't know, man. I do a podcast with Fitch. He's about as tall as you are, maybe a little taller. Motherfucker gets down to 170. Like, I don't know. What are you're walking around like 230 right now, though, right?
Yeah, I'm like 225.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, you're a giant of a man. Fitch, Pat Miletich is fighting. I gotta bring it back to that. He's fighting, everybody. CagedAggression.tv. Let me see. Do I have the thing still? Yes, I do. I have my little affiliate link that I'll put out there. I'll be putting it everywhere. Miletich versus Jackson. The old man comes out of retirement. I'm sick to death. Calling fights with BJ Penn. Hopefully one day, John and I will be the color commentating team for Ryzen, and they'll be flying us to Japan bi-monthly for one of those organizations. Ryzen, what are you waiting for? Fitch, what do you got going on this weekend?
Man, wrestling class on Saturdays. Check out jumpfish.net, sign up for the newsletter. I've been doing some online coaching, right? So I have my own Fitch Smash program, and I've got it to a point where I can kind of start virtually coaching, giving you materials, having you work on things and develop from there. And then, with the fighter that I'm working with, he had his first amateur fight recently. He sent me the video of it, and I was able to do a picture-in-picture breakdown of what he was doing right, what he was doing wrong, what he needed to work on. And then, I gave him homework with some stuff to do. And then I've got people that I meet with here in town that I film things, I film technique, and I can show you how to fix things and how to work on stuff. So as long as you got some bodies to work with, I can coach you remotely.
You know, I've seen Fitch do it. I've seen him in the garage with people, just on the mats. That's where you got to start. He'll teach you how to fight. You can get Fitch pilled. Those are two of the things. He's still doing the John Fitch Knows Nothing as well.
Yeah, Sunday nights at 7 on the left coast, and it's usually fight recap stuff. Every once in a while, the fights are slow or there's nothing on, and we'll talk about something more topical, and we have a good time. It's fun.
Fitch, we got to get together after these fights. I wish my man Militich luck. Everybody, I'm sick to my stomach. This might actually be my last broadcast till Monday, depending. Maybe I'll do some stuff off my phone from the event, but yeah, I'm going to be a pretty busy guy. You can get my premiums this weekend. One is Harrison Smith from the American Journal over at Infowars.com. We actually had a great conversation for over an hour. So thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. I'll be posting the links around if you were in YouTube in the chat. You have those links. Fitch, thank you so much, guys. We'll see you later.
Check y'all later.